I got to talk. I got to tell what I feel. I got to talk about my life as I see it.
Biggie.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back. It's been a minute. I think I'm gonna end up uploading a bunch of videos that I shot but never uploaded, kind of back to back to back. So to give context, today is Thursday, August the 10th, I believe. Yeah, today's the 10th. So between this and the last video I shot, it's probably been about a week to a week and a half or so, where I was talking about, I know I was mentioning the second job thing, and talking about, you know, your job being your hustle, and not, or looking at programming as my hustle and not my quote unquote career, you know, which is cool. So to that light, I know I just brought up the idea of picking up a second job, but I actually did it. So I officially got two jobs, two full-time programming jobs, to say the least. Both W-2, and the second gig, both remote. The only way this would be able to work is because I work remote, you know, fully remote from home. If I had to go into an office, there was no way that, you know, it's just physically impossible to do, to work two full-time programming jobs when you have to be at a physical location for one or both of them. So I work fully remote from home for both. This second one is a small little startup here in Vegas. I won't even mention the name, but there's only like 5 people in the company or something like that. Only like really one other full-time developer that was doing everything full stack. So they brought me on to take over the front end duties. Is Angular, Electron, which includes some Node stuff, and then all the business logic is in Java, which I'm not a quote-unquote Java guy, but I can work my way around enough. Really, the other guy is the Java expert, so I imagine he'll be doing the bulk of those duties. But yeah, and this gig pays well. It's another 6-figure gig, so basically I got a 6-figure raise, which sounds great and everything, but you know, it's gonna be a lot of taxes, of course, and all of that stuff, because it's W-2. They both W-2. I tried to get them to go 1099 because that really would have helped me out a lot, but they really wanted to do full-time W-2, and I wasn't gonna turn down 6 figures over W-2 versus 1099 type thing. So, and number two, it's a lot of my time, you know, so it really, I had to talk to the lady about it. It's another one of those, kind of like when I had first started programming. We talked about short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. So having that extra income every month opens up a lot of doors for us as a family, and for me as a, you know, investor. In my whole plan, I was talking about to have the ability to retire in 60 months, in 5 years. Retire in a car note, as I like to say, because that's a lot of income, extra income over and above what we need to live off of, and there's no way, you know, it would be foolish to try to increase our lifestyle to that level, because that's the second job, and who's to say I won't get burnt out on that after X amount of time, and B, increasing my lifestyle to match the income also kills my plans for investing. So the plan is, really the conversation came up between me and the lady because I wanted to put my son in the same private school that my 4-year-old is going to for pre-K, but the amount of tuition it would take, we could afford it, but it pushed us up there towards over a number that I was comfortable with. We would have enough money to afford all of our bills, including our individual spending monies and all that stuff. We budget everything, so we know how much money we have to spend every month between myself and my lady and all that stuff, food, etc., etc. So we'd have enough money for all of those things and still have money left over in the month, but it wasn't the amount of money left over in the month that I would have liked it to have been. You know, I like to be able to put 4 figures in the bank every month as like don't touch money, and this would have been pushing being able to put 4 figures in the bank as don't touch money. Actually, it would have broken. I wouldn't have been able to put over $1,000 in the bank every month as don't touch money. So we started talking about the second job thing. I kind of put some fillers out, had a couple possibles in the air. Then got a call from a recruiter, and it all went pretty quickly, less than a week, less than 7 days from first talking to this recruiter. I had 3 different phone interviews, and then got an offer from the company. So, and I started this past Monday, and today is Thursday. So, yeah, it's like an official thing. And so we don't even need any of that money, any of those 6 figures, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we can use that to cover tuition. For number's sake, tuition is $2,000 a month. So that's I was about to say 24,000 if you times it by 12, but you only pay tuition for 10 months instead of 12. So it's 20,000 a year comes out of that. Which would leave us with 70. I like to be conservative, so even if I say 70,000 after taxes of money to be able to use, and all of that money for me is going towards investing and purchasing properties and rehab for properties, etc., etc. So I'll probably start off with, you know, eventually I want to do multifamily. That's what I'm really interested in. But just to get something under my belt, I might grab a single family or 2, just to get that going, and then I'll make sure I have good connections and good property management set up to manage those, and then we'll start the hunt for the big boys. 15 to 75 unit apartment complexes. I'm even open to and giving thought to building multifamily down in southern Mississippi where I'm from. So to build 5 or more units, you know, 5 unit, 10-plex or something like that, 15-plex, and just kind of fund it all myself. It's something that I'm definitely open to. So it's about to begin. This is all going to take place over the next year or 2. So, like I said, for full transparency, you get to come along for the ride, see all the mistakes I make, and any wins that I get as well. Because I really want to inspire people and let them see that it's possible to do. I went from working at a front desk in a hotel, what was it, 3-4 years ago? Something like that. You know, making 35 grand a year, family of 5, you know, we struggling. Now got into programming and development, worked that way up. You can watch my how much money can you make programming video to see that progression up from 35, 55, 70, 110, 125. Now picking up a second 6-figure thing, so we're over 200K a year. And then transition that from having a high income to having passive income that will fund your lifestyle. So I want to show that whole progression and all the way through it, and hopefully it gets to inspire somebody else to do it. Whether or not you want to get into programming or anything like that. Programming, for me, like I said, it's just a vehicle. It's an avenue that I knew could pay me a significant amount of money if I really dedicated myself to it. And I like the fact that I can do that. It gives me the flexibility with the remote stuff. Yeah, that took some time to get to remote, but now that I'm there with the remote capabilities and, you know, 6-figure earnings at jobs, it gives me the ability to make this journey. So you can go and do plenty of other things and plenty of other hustles that can allow you to make the same journey. You know, everybody has you got to have a hustle nowadays. If you got a regular W-2 job, you got to have a hustle. You got time on the weekends. You got a couple hours at night where you can do anything. I watched the video where a guy said that the power hours are from 9 p.m. until midnight, or some people push it to 1 a.m. depending on what time you got to go to bed and get up to be to work in the morning. You can get a lot done. By 9 o'clock, you should have your babies in the bed if you got babies. And you got 9, 10, 11, 12. That gives you 3 hours every single night where you aren't kicked up watching the television or the internet or YouTube or whatever it is, or playing video games. You got 3 hours every night to work on your business, to work on your side business, your side hustle, whatever it is, to bring in extra income for yourself or for yourself and your family. So I'm not a big one on people having excuses, you know. I had kids, 3 kids at the house. Old lady wanted my time. You know my story if you've watched my videos. So I'm not a big one on having excuses. You know what I'm saying? You can, and I'm the king of lazy now. I ain't got this like big fire, you know, to go get them and all that stuff. If you give me the option of laying in the bed all day on my laptop watching YouTube or whatever it is, I'm gonna pick that option 9 times out of 10. At least I won't say that I will pick that option. I'll say that's my first tendency, is to just chill out and relax. You know what I'm saying? But I forced myself to make moves, and I'm not perfect. I didn't, you know, if I had a 3-hour chunk of time, I probably wouldn't spend the whole 3 hours studying or whatever. I get distracted real easy, you know, so I'll see something and it's a squirrel moment and I'm off to the side doing that, and I done wasted 10, 15, 20 minutes doing that, and then I try to get back on track and all this stuff. But so all I want to say is there ain't no excuses. You're gonna be here with me taking this ride. You get to see everything that I go through doing it. So I'm kind of excited. I'm more excited about showing other people than I am for anything that may come to me from it. You know, I look at it like just lesson learning opportunities. So whether or not, you know, this is a big financial win for me or anything, as far as getting the properties and the passive income, if it doesn't all work out right the first time, I take it as a learning experience, you know. But I just don't quit. So if I fail the first time around, I take those lessons that I learned and I'm gonna circle back around and we're gonna do it a second time. And if the second time don't work out right, I'm gonna take those lessons from the first and second time and we're gonna circle back around. And yeah, we're gonna do this, buddy, a third time until this thing work out. So stay tuned. If you got any questions, put them down below and I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.